This happened to me 3 years ago, and no matter how many times I try to forget it, I still hear that bus engine in my nightmares. It was late October, the air was cold, the streets were empty, and I had just finished a late shift at the grocery store. Normally my friend drove me home, but that night his car wouldn't start. So I had only one option, the last bus at 11:40 p.m. A bus I had never taken before. A bus I should have never taken. The bus stop was next to an abandoned factory. The kind of place everyone joked was haunted. The streetlights were barely working. Some flickered. Some were dead. At exactly 11:35, I heard a bus approaching. But the engine didn't sound normal. It sounded slow, heavy, like something was wrong with it. When the bus finally stopped in front of me, the headlights were dim, and the metal frame looked decades old. The driver opened the door and just stared at me. No greeting, no words, just a blank, lifeless stare. But the sign on the bus said my town's name, so I stepped on. Biggest mistake of my life. The moment I entered, a wave of freezing cold hit me, colder than outside, much colder. There were 8 passengers, all sitting upright, all perfectly still, none of them blinking. I sat halfway down the bus and tried not to stare. The driver closed the doors, and we started moving. That's when I noticed. We weren't taking the usual route. The bus turned into old, narrow streets I had never seen before. No houses, no streetlights, just dark shapes in the distance. I checked my phone. No signal. And then it happened. One of the passengers, the man 2 seats ahead of me, snapped his head around. Not slowly, not naturally, like something broken, and he stared at me with empty, dead eyes. Before I could react, another passenger did the same. Then another, until all 8 of them were turned toward me, staring, motionless, silent. And just like that, the bus jerked, the lights flickered off, then on, and all the passengers were facing forward again, as if nothing had happened. I looked at the driver through the rearview mirror. He was staring at me too, wide-eyed, unblinking, mouth moving like he was whispering something. But no sound was coming out. His knuckles were white from gripping the steering wheel. The temperature dropped even more. I could see my breath, and then I saw it. A road sign, old, rusted, barely readable. It said, "You shouldn't be here." I jumped out of my seat. "I want to get off," I said. No response. "I said I want to get off." The driver kept staring. His lips kept moving. I reached for the emergency exit button, and the moment I pressed it, the entire bus turned red. Sirens blared, lights flashed, all the passengers' heads snapped toward me at once. Crack, crack, crack. They moved too fast, too sharp, not human. I didn't wait. The doors opened just enough for me to squeeze through, and I threw myself into the darkness outside. I hit the ground hard and ran into the woods, not stopping, not looking back, until I reached a familiar road. A patrol car found me minutes later. The officer who picked me up told me something I'll never forget. "There is no 11:40 p.m. bus. Hasn't been one for decades." I argued. I described the route, the passengers, the bus. He shook his head and said, "That bus was taken out of service in 1982. There was an accident. Everyone inside died." I didn't say another word, and since that night, I've never taken a bus again. But sometimes, late at night, when everything is quiet, I swear I still hear that slow, dragging engine somewhere in the distance, coming closer.